Well, first of all, you get to throw peels today. How exciting is that?
I was stoked, and I threw them really hard and super clean. I said to Colton after the game, like, that's how you throw a peel. Pure. I love it. I mean, I like throwing, in practice we get together with the boys, and all these guys on my team can throw it pretty hard, but I got a little weapon in there too. I used to be able to throw bombs, so usually have it so you can throw it the hardest. I'm for sure not the most accurate because I don't get thrown very often, but those were easy.
Well, and you knew they were made because you turned your back on them before contact.
I had to, just to let the fans know that this is. I was saying to the boys after, being a second back in the 4-rock rule or the 3-rock rule, what a joke. Just throw bombs full time, right? Like, 5-rock rule, you got to be pretty good, well-versed. 4-rock, 3-rock, you just throw heater. That was easy. I could have been the best second ever. But whatever. It's fun today.
You knew it was a fairly stress-free day when Koo doesn't take off his jacket either, right?
Yeah. Well, it's pretty hot out there, and he usually never takes it off, but it's warm out there and gets swung going. But that 5-ender kind of sealed it up a little bit for us, and good bunch of kids on that team, and what are you going to say? They're probably not ready for this kind of level yet, I'd say, but they're young and they're going to have a lot of years to get better. With the Norwegian curling, how they ship them up, and if that's going to be their team, they're going to get a lot of resources to be really good, and hopefully they get better.
So 5-0, but more importantly, you guys get a break here too, and that's pretty large for you.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, the more rest we can get and get ready for the back half of the week here and the big games, and hopefully getting into the playoffs. You want the bodies to be feeling good in the mind, and it's a little bit of a stressful week. I'm not getting any younger. I know I'm looking decent, but I'm not getting any younger. So, certainly I want a little bit of rest, and it's nice to get a little 6 ends today.
Well, Joel, that was a very, very important win for you guys. I imagine, did you have a sense that it was almost must-win after a couple losses, or?
We had a sense we were performing very well, so that's what mattered for us. And of course, we needed one more win on the board, and we played a solid game today. We actually played well against Japan and Canada too yesterday and the day before, even if we lost the games. But we're playing well. If we don't miss too many shots, we can be a tough team to beat out there.
That's the funny thing about curling that a lot of people don't necessarily realize. It can be a very humbling game. You go out and play 2 good games and don't necessarily get rewarded. So what was it like last night? What did you guys talk about, and what was your approach for today?
Well, last night we couldn't keep the pace of Team Canada in the second half of the game. They performed amazingly, and we were not as sharp as they were. We had a good lead in the first half of the game, and I think we put some pressure on them, and they realized that they had to wake up if they wanted to beat us, which they did, unfortunately for us. And but on the other end, that gives us a wake-up call as well. And today we didn't miss many shots. We were very sharp on the ice, and we played solid. So it's a good win for us today.
And the funny thing about it too is you guys can obviously execute at a high level, but confidence is such a big thing too, isn't it? And that was an important game to reestablish the confidence, I imagine.
Of course, I told you yesterday about confidence, and we need to be confident that we can perform. We've been training hard. Of course, we don't play that many tournaments overseas, and we don't have these kind of games in our pocket. But we're confident that we can throw. I mean, we're all good curlers, and if we don't think who we're playing, and we just think we're playing against 8 rocks, it doesn't really matter the opponent team. And so we're confident we can perform. Yes, that's true.
Another win for you guys, obviously very important. When you play a game like that, are you all about just the win at all costs, or are you trying to get some stuff accomplished as you develop towards the weekend?
Yeah, both. Definitely the win is probably most important at this stage of the competition, because you want to stay up there in the rankings and you want to make sure you get your playoff spot. But also you want to feel comfortable with the ice. The ice changes also during the game. So doing a little bit of both.
So how close are you to where you need to be? Not just in the standings, but in terms of the level of play as we get towards the weekend?
Yeah, I think that we're all playing pretty well. There's still a few things that we have to adapt to, maybe the sweeping, 1 or 2 little mistakes. The ice is not always so easy to see for speed, but overall we're really happy. If we can get maybe a better draw shot, it would be better to have Hammer in the first 10 a couple more times, and yeah.
You mentioned something I was going to ask you about too. That's such an important facet of the game, and most of the fans aren't even in the seats to see it. But I know how much importance you guys are putting on it, especially in a format where there's no tiebreaker games.
Absolutely. So there's that. it's really important for the ranking at the end of the week. But also, it gives you such a huge advantage. I mean, when we played yesterday against Russia, first 10 we had a really good start. Maybe we had one kind of half shot, and he scored 2, and suddenly you're 2 behind. It's like, okay, so we got to chase this game. Instead of this one, that was the opposite. They just scored 2. Then you're able to control the scoreboard all throughout.
Do you have a number of mind? Do you have a goal in terms of wins that you think you need to nail down before you get to the playoffs?
Well, goal is hopefully get close to the top 2, top 3. But I think if we can aim maybe for let's say 9-3 record or a 10-2, we'd be probably happy with that.
Well, after the 9th end got away from you, the way you guys put together it came back in the 10th. That says a lot about your team, doesn't it?
It does, and that's kind of always been something that, you know, me personally, and I really preach on my teammates, is, you know, being able to park an end. But, you know, it also helped, you know, the way I threw the rock. My last one at 9, I threw almost the same shot with the one I made in 10. So being able to, you know, park feelings, but also take, you know, that feedback and use it to help yourself make shots. I was, you know, I was proud of the guys to come out there and make 6 out of 6 in front of me that last end and give me that chance.
There was a lot of check marks checked off in that game. Win for you guys, obviously, kicking those guys down a little notch as well. I mean, a lot of good things happened as a result of that win for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, obviously here at the World Championships, every win is a big one, and everyone's a tough one. It's, you know, when you're playing against the top 5 team in the world like Bruce Mouat, you know, obviously those are ones that, you know, if you can win those ones, a lot of times you get a little half step ahead in the competition.
Is your team where it needs to be yet?
We're getting really, really close. I'm really happy with the way that the guys are throwing the rock, and the communication is picked up right where we left off at our nationals when we got the win there.